Introducing.
Oh, y'all could hear that. Okay, I was wondering.
The big three.
And like that, we're back with another Unpacked presented to you by the To Be Fair Show and
the GSH podcast.
It doesn't matter how you feel.
Even you. Shout out to Balloon G. We call that Balloon G right there.
Hot air balloon.
So yeah, nonetheless, we back again. Another episode, another Wednesday. We're running a little later, about an hour later. But we here for the people, by the people. And with that said, we have another good one. Is it time to ban it? Or at least limit it? Has social media in America went too far? Is it too extreme? Is it making us too polarizing? Has it pushed our politics way further than it needs to be? I think that there's some countries that have started banning social media, and we're going to kind of take a look at it. Could this do us some good? Will it drop the student? What is it? The mass shootings? Ain't that usually by incels? I want to say. Yeah. Can we? Will it officially eliminate the drill scene in America? I don't know, but before we get there, y'all see it. It's the Three Horsemen right now. Shout out Fat Boy. Fat Boy, he actually introduced this conversation, or him and G introduced this conversation. So we'll kind of see. We might bring Fat Boy up early, but yeah. With that said, y'all see the guys. G, what's going on, brother?
What's good, everybody? It's G, host of the GSH podcast, where we focus on family, friends, finances, freedom, and our future. Forget about everything else. Check it out wherever you get your pod. Search GSH POD.
Okay. And y'all see him. A third of the To Be Fair Show, host of the To Be Fair Show. Catch him riding with Benny the Butcher and Johnny P's caddy. J. Cole concert this Friday. Opening night, Johnny.
Man, hey, man, off of J. Cole that bad. He say, hey, we'll talk about it. We'll see. We'll see. But hey, I'm glad to be back. You know, got another good one lined up for the boys. You know, glad to be back.
Gotcha. And so with that said, we do have a clip from, what is it called? Oh, my bad. We're going to actually pick up really quickly before we go there. We're going to pick up on what we ended at last month. Not last month, but last week, with birthright citizenship. In recent interesting news and developments. Again, shout out to Kamu. He told us that the FIFA World Cup was going to be this really big thing. It actually ended up being a really big thing here in America. So big, pause, that Trump, he actually helped petition FIFA for the reinstatement of a black guy named Folarin. This black guy named Folarin, he actually has an interesting story where he is a case of what we were talking about last week. He is a case of birthright citizenship, anchor baby, everything that they said that they didn't want in America. And inside a recent change of events, Trump petitioned for a anchor baby to play. What is your thoughts?
I think Trump a loser. And I think
this is what crazy.
He was meddling in something that he shouldn't have been meddling. He was like, I know sports, so I'm gonna go against like what I just was mad at the Supreme Court about to like meddle into sports because I think I know sports. And like what he did was he pissed that other team. Like, what you know sports, you know motivation matters, you know pressure matters. You know, like these guys, like this is already the biggest game of their career or like of their lives. And then you put like 100 times more pressure on them. And the niggas cracked. Like them niggas folded up like dirty laundry, clean laundry. You know, like it was crazy. And
pick up your clothes.
Come pick them up. Like they folded. You know, they was ready to go. And like he showed up to the Knicks series. Them niggas lost. They fold. We'd have been talking about Wemby and them. So it was like it did. Line was like, if you're not cheering for such and such, they was talking shit because Trump did it, and then we just got embarrassed. It was just a bad look for the country, you know. Like it's just sad. Like,
I mean, I gotta disagree a little bit in that this is one of the things where I think, regardless of who you voted for, you like, word, yeah, Trump. Like, finally, we get to use your powers for something we all want to see them used for, so to speak. Like, I think even the Trump haters were like, word, low key. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Finally, I get the benefit from one of Trump's power moves. So,
oh no, I did see that. I seen that and heard that a lot.
Yeah,
I agree with that for the first 8 hours that I knew about it. Once I saw the press conference, once I saw the press conference and I seen, oh, he's just like using this as like I'm a medal in. So like once I saw the real reason for it, I was like, oh, like I felt the bad karma coming. Like once I saw the press conference, I was like, we gonna lose.
But the thing is, the U.S. team, I think, like a lot of now, granted, I'm not a soccer dude, but from what I understand, they getting to where they got was an accomplishment. Like they weren't realistically a team competing to win the cup. The fact that they made it to the round of 16 was like considered a pretty good outing. And if they would have won this game, it would have been like a huge upset. It wouldn't have been like a expectation that they was coming out winning.
Johnny being a great.
But what I'm saying is,
let me finish. But hold on, let me finish. Let me finish though, because the other point is did you see these niggas doing the Trump dance in the locker room and on the field? Like after they scored a goal, and then in the locker room they were singing YMCA doing the Trump dance.
You talking about
the Belgian locker room? Yeah.
Oh, they said overturn that. Like he set us up.
That joint was funny.
But the thing is, like with soccer, with any sports, like you just gotta let that ride. I feel like we would have had a better chance without him doing that. Because like we got the
we didn't have like I don't think we had a chance.
Christian Pulisic guy,
wasn't he the best player on the team?
He was like the best striker.
The dude, well, he was having the best tournament for sure. But there's this other dude.
Why would you think that we'd had a better chance?
Because the guy that was coming in that was supposed to be good, he would have one more chance to shine. Because like it's a thing, like you can take the guy off, and like this guy will be able to kind of, it gets like space. It's like, you know, in basketball, you can have the backcourt, there'd be too many people. It's like it could have gave him a chance, and I think like even like meddling, it turned Belgium up on so bad that Belgium was already a better team, and it gave them more motivation to kick our ass. So like I feel like you just leave it alone, and we'd have had a better, you know, it's just glory.
Get our ass whooped even more.
I feel like I don't feel like cheating the way to go. Like Trump, like come on, Trump. Like the red card was halfway just like if you looked at it, they was like that's part of the rules.
Crazy.
Like people acting like they know soccer now. Like, oh, it shouldn't have been a red card.
Like I like 180 Johnny.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But here's like my thing, you know, Trump. Like Americans never cared about soccer. Like how did you like got time to watch the World Cup and shit? And
so why are you so mad about this? This is what I'm trying to understand.
Because I was cheering for us, man. I felt like he pissed me off when he
gave us the best opportunity to win.
No, he didn't. Like he hurt.
So you're saying like taking away your best player?
We had two best players. The other guy would have had it. I feel like he shouldn't have did it.
You don't think that
he shouldn't have done that?
Listen, I don't even know soccer like that, but if you take away one really good player, it means all the attention's on this other one good player.
It also means
two good players. Now there's split attention, and you have to pay attention to both of them. where's like the? I'm trying to understand why taking away a really good player that was having a really good tournament would make us better suddenly.
Because there's different strategies that come in, and like with the
What's
two
the strategy
versus the one. I don't know all the strategies, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think we were like. I think we had enough talent to win without like.
But you just said that we were like a massive underdog.
But this year we had like really good players that were like also playing well. Like the Tillman guy was playing good. Freeman was playing good up until there.
Are you saying? Were you talking about it being a massive underdog in other years or this year?
This year, like as in, like I said, getting to the round of 16 is considered a good outcome for the U.S. team. They weren't expected to win the World Cup is definitely like a true statement. Okay. Them winning the World Cup would be like, you know, a Cinderella type story. Like
it'd be like Russia in 1980.
it would be
or us beating Russia in 1980.
So this idea that they're gonna go to like the last two rounds, you know,
it wasn't really feasible.
That's not really, you know, like I said, they made it here. Now they just playing with house money and they lost the house money.
Gotcha.
Oh, do
you think that Trump allowing our best or pushing for our best player to win?
No, I rock with it. Hey, I rock with it.
Patriotic.
Like, that's what you should be doing. Yeah, I mean, look,
if
that's true American sports right there. If you're not doing everything to win, then you probably don't deserve to win.
Let me ask you this: if you identified as an American first,
all the greats cheat.
Would you have liked, hated, or been indifferent about that move?
Say it again.
If you identified as an American first, would you have liked, hated, or been indifferent about Trump doing everything he could to make sure America won?
I think you gotta be pro here. Like, if you're American first, you gotta support this. You got to.
They have nothing to do with soccer logic. Like, they have nothing to do with soccer. Like, they have nothing to do with sports logic.
This is all about USA at the world stage. And
got you.
Yeah.
That's what I was figuring.
Have you ever heard of like Billboard? Have you heard of like Billboard material with like the underdogs start to talk shit and like the team and they start posting like on the billboard in the locker room and be like, "Oh, these niggas talking crazy." And
when
then
the underdogs are talking shit.
Yeah, or a team like talk shit and they piss off the other team and the other team
talking shit.
Trump was talking shit. Like, I think the country was talking shit. There was a lot of like people. It was like it's soccer, not like, it was a lot of shit. It's the World Cup. There was a lot of shit talking going on.
What was it? What was Trump? What did Trump say?
I don't know if it was Trump, but I seen there was a lot of soccer fans. The American fans were talking shit like
and they were saying, "Oh, we're gonna beat." Hey, what country
we
got the white boy that looked like the fighter from?
That's Norway. That's Norway.
Norway?
I can't say his name.
The fighter. He looked like the fighter
Holland.
from Rocky.
Holland.
That's his name.
Yeah.
Holland.
The last name is Holland. Yeah.
Well, it's crazy because he got black people lips. Like, it look weird.
He's a weird looking guy. Because he's got a wide nose and everything.
And like flush, like his lips kind of curl up. Like he almost looked albino when I was looking.
They look more like Kardashian lips to me, Paul. Like Kardashians got black people lips too. I think like
what they use lip filler. That's different. He just looked like and I just wonder what that is. Because like that,
Scandinavian or Viking. I guess Viking. I think these niggas descend from Vikings. That's why they do that rowing shit on their shit.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I think that is.
What they got to do with them having black people lips? Were Vikings more black or something?
I didn't say that.
I don't know.
I
think they more Neanderthal.
Oh, okay. Neanderthal had like the lips.
Yeah. Okay. He probably more Neanderthal than Homo sapien.
Okay.
Okay, I don't believe that one. That's a wild rabbit hole.
Listen,
hey, I'm just throwing out theories.
But yeah, nonetheless, we were speaking about Trump. I thought that this was interesting. Again, this is a warm up before we get into the the Vikings were the real indigenous, but
Aboriginals.
Aboriginal to Scotland or wherever the fuck what Sweden
to the boat.
Niggas Aboriginal to Norway, boy.
The original Christopher.
Confusing and original and aboriginal. Y'all boys is crazy. All right, so saying all that to say, again, this is another teaser before we get into the main topic. But y'all heard about Trump and him speaking about TikTok. Here we go.
You know who the number one person in TikTok? Now, there's a thing called TikTok. Have you heard of it? You know who the number one person in TikTok is by far? Trump, me. I just got I'm number one. Like Taylor Swift was number 11. I'm number one in TikTok by far. And the numbers just came out. And I said, well, you know, I'm hearing about how they influence. They're talking about their tremendous danger because they influence. But if they influence so badly, I mean, I'm saying all things like I love our country. We got to stop communism. We got to this and that. We're going to do a lot. We're doing a lot of things. But I'm by far number one. It was sent to me by, you know, the list comes out. Number one, number two. I was number one by a lot. So I guess maybe, I don't know, maybe they're bad. Maybe they're not. I know one thing, great American people, tremendous business people and companies bought it. Now,
this nigga is the easiest trick ever, boy. I ain't gonna lie.
This nigga like, I'm old. I got 2 more years after this. I'm
look at this dude. He looks so tired right there.
Character in general. That's my only thing.
This is all he want. He just want these moments. He just want to talk his shit for the rest of his tenure.
I think if you tell Trump he number one, you can pretty much get anything about him.
Like this, like he's so like egotistic. Like this shit is crazy. Like it's just if yeah, like you say, like if you be like, hey, look, man, I think you're doing a really good job. That man let you kill people. He let you get away with anything, like literal murder. You can get away with literal murder just by like big up in the guy.
Yeah.
Hey, like, you know, I like what you're doing out here, man. Like, I support it. And he be like, you did what? You get off. Pardon. Oh, he got a USA jersey on? Pardon. Like anything. Like, let him play. Where to grow up? Don't matter. Let him play.
Yeah. I guess any credence to this? Does this matter? Nothing. Like I said, I just think that it's very interesting. You can almost see his staff's reaction, but like, oh damn, another nigga got him. They told him he was number one. Damn.
Yeah, they know. They know to just be quiet. It's like you can just see it.
It's like when you in a locker room and you a player, but you catch eyes with that like the cool assistant coach. When the coach saying something crazy, and that's what this moment seemed like.
You got to die trying to hold that laugh in because
it's like, bro,
he about to die. But like, I don't know. It's just this nigga say we going back to Israel, or we going back to Iran to get rid of some bombs that he blew up 6 months ago. Like,
are we still
the Iran shit? Whole other. It's crazy.
Are we still in war with Iran?
Yeah,
he just went back. He just went back because he said they got a nuke.
Called him scum. He's like, it's.
And he said that we got a nuke. That he said that they got a nuke that he blew up 6 months ago. Like no nukes. He denuked it. They buried it underground. They could never get it for 100 years, and now he going back in there to get rid of it again. It's just insane. Like he just at this point he got like a track record of saying the wrong thing. That like. The leader of the free world, we can't trust him. It's crazy.
Man, Johnny is gone. You off that boat, Johnny?
It was never a boat. I ain't never liked the guy like that.
Dang, that's crazy.
Where the fuck is Bag of Johnny coming from? That's a wild thing. It's a wild statement. Y'all go quit blagging me, man. Like, yeah, y'all go quit doing that.
You running talking points of black. I ain't gonna lie, but it's all right. With that,
never mind.
Listen, I showed you some side by side of you.
I
heard like we both heard the same narrative.
Well, side by side, this one.
This one, okay. All right, this new Johnny now. Neo
Nah.
MAGA Johnny. I like it.
Johnny Owens.
Listen, just lay low on the Charlie Kirk wife, and you'll be all right, Johnny Owens. All right. With that said, we do have another warm up before we get into the main conversation. We'll go here with it. Shout out to my guy Tone. 3D printed meat, cell cultivated meat, cell based meat.
Pause, bro. Goddamn, that's 3 in a row.
All right, so there's been a major shift in the food industry here in the United States and also in the European Union. They have approved lab-grown meats, right? So if you want to stay away from lab-grown meats, you have to read your labels, right? So regulatory labels that they will be under are cell cultivated and cultivated meats. That's in the United States. If you're in Europe, it'll be cultivated meat or cell-based meat, right? So again, they have approved lab-grown meats. If you want to stay organic, read your label. All right, so there's been a major shift in.
All right. What are y'all thoughts?
Man,
Y'all going all organic? Can you get like? Are you cool with like the 80-20 lab grown?
nah. You gotta go 85-15 anyway.
You said
bro.
they mix it in with the real meat. That's what you're saying?
Nah, bro, not 80-20. That's ground. That's lean fat. That's lean to fat.
I know, but eventually it'd be like 80-20. You know what I mean?
But no, I mean, here's the
Man, if it's lab grown, that shit better be lean.
It better be 95.5. Like, how you gonna grow fat? Like,
All right, let's start here. Are y'all cool with them solving world hunger with lab grown meat?
No.
Solving world hunger is a different use case, I'll say.
All right, so Johnny don't want them to.
Well, I don't believe
kids to eat lab grown meat.
No, it's not because I don't trust lab grown meat. And I think it's.
So you rather them die than eat the lab grown meat?
Is the question? I thought the question was about like. Do I approve of the lab grown?
I asked the like real direct question.
Excuse me.
He switched it up. I ain't get to address the first part.
Down the line.
But like, I don't agree with lab grown meat in general. So like, I don't think it's
okay. So start them kids if the only option is to eat lab grown meat.
I mean, if that's all they got, fuck it, let them have it. But like, there's better.
Okay, shit. So third world country, that is a good use cases. So now let's go.
I think Singapore has had lab grown meat for a few years. It's either one of the Asian countries have had lab grown meat. I can't remember which one it is.
Has there been like an uptick in violent crime or anything?
No, Singapore don't play.
Meat?
No, okay.
Did the lab grown meat supposed to make people violent?
I don't know. I don't know what the narrative is around it. Did it make people? Did fertility rates go down?
No. So my thing is my thing is like at the end of the day, when you look at like what you ingest, you're eating something that was cloned, if you will. Now, look, over time, they've created fruits and vegetables that didn't exist that are a part of our everyday lives today, right? Like
Johnny, tell him you go to Golden Corral for that broccoli.
Broccoli is an example, but there's several examples of fruits that we
broccoli.
Foods and vegetables we consume.
That's just an example.
That's lab grown broccoli. I think G froze.
Yeah, I think it froze.
All right, go ahead. We listening, G.
So it's like I understand that food gets engineered over time. And humans do things to food to make it turn out different, right? Like, so it's like it's interesting. So it's like some of it, part of me is just like, but the idea of creating meat out of something that doesn't breathe is interesting to me. Where it's like, I don't know if I personally want to have that be my main source of protein specifically, like.
Okay, but
Like-
vegetables you'll be cool with.
I eat broccoli. I eat some other like lemons. There's all types of vegetables and fruits that are common that you don't even think twice about.
But man-made fruit and man-made meat are two separate.
But
like,
so this is what I agree is different because at least it can self-produce itself. You don't have to keep it in a lab. Like the apples can reproduce, the broccoli can reproduce. The meat is literally just made to be consumed from like cells in a lab. Like it's very like is a very interesting process. Like I give the scientists credit to being able to create something like this, but it's not appetizing. It don't sound appetizing. I would be upset if I was like fed it without it being like explicitly told that this is what it is.
Yeah,
and I'd be curious to see the market for it, what the prices will be compared to regular meat.
I was trying to start extreme and then work my way closer.
Can I add to that?
So, I'm gonna ask you this question first, Johnny. All right, so y'all are okay with starving country, third world?
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Like, and I want to answer. Like, hey, Q, can I answer that?
You said starving kids that you would want, like you're cool with them getting clone meat.
I said, yeah. If that's the use case, is to try to prevent like widespread hunger, and shit like that. I feel free because they peddle all other types of processed shit to them to try and keep them alive. Like, okay, so this is another kind of processed food. Like, so
smooth.
Sure, like space, like that space food niggas be eating on the astronauts and shit. Like army food. Like when you really out in the middle of nowhere, gotta just have some protein type shit. Like I think it has some use cases. I don't think it should be normal.
Right. But for like solving world hunger, third world country hunger kids, like you can throw them the clone meat, right?
I'm more open to that. Yeah.
Okay. All right, now let's look at do you look at hunger and inside America? Do you think that's a thing?
Is hunger a thing? Sure. There are food deserts.
Food desert. But food deserts is tricky sometimes because sometimes they're just talking about a lack of availability to nutritious foods, not as much as like just being hungry. Do you believe in like there being hunger in America?
So but if you keep eating, that means you're still hungry.
What, non-nutritious food?
Like
if I eat a bunch of cheese doodles, I'm not gonna be hungry.
You might not be hungry, but you're not gonna be
satisfied.
Huh?
No, you're not gonna be healthy. You're gonna have cancer. That's what it is. You're just not gonna be healthy.
Partially.
Yeah, like if what we're talking about hungry is that if the baseline is you can eat a bunch of cheese doodles and not be hungry, then
that's not my baseline.
Oh, okay, because I think there are people in America who still will be hungry.
I said that food desert is slippery because the term also just describes like you can have like gas stations and shit like that inside an area because they'll describe some urban areas as food deserts because there's no local produce and grocery stores near it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just all like CVS type shit.
That's the slippery part to it. But I'm just speaking about like this, like hunger.
That technically is
like like niggas be like, oh I don't know, homeless people be like they starving and or the kid he hungry. What would you do if your kid was at home?
No, some niggas do struggle to eat. Yeah, some niggas do struggle to eat. Some niggas do struggle to eat.
Huh?
That's what I do. I feed them the clone meat.
You so if like a use cases also would be the equivalent of what government cheese used to be. Are you okay with the clone meat?
I mean, like if it has to be out there,
like just for like the niggas that's
so they drop off the box where it's got the can of pork, the can of beef. The government cheese,
and like it's easily accessible. If you actually hungry and you starving, You can
They
go
don't
get
do that no
clone.
more. They don't do that no more. So it's an interesting concept, but
It's gonna be worse than a McDonald's burger. But here's my issue with all of it. And like,
Okay.
that's not a terrible use. That's not a terrible use case.
But even in the use case, like here, like my thing with this is like, and it sounds crazy coming from me, but like capitalism has to have some kind of limits on it, and like because this is done in part because of like gain, like product, profit margin. And these big companies that have bought up all the farms, they go in, they know that they can make the clone meat for cheaper than it is to raise an actual cow. But like at some point, like there should be laws against like, even if you got to take a loss or it costs more, like there should be like some kind of limits to where like that's just how much profit you can get off the people using food, because it meant like food is something that's important to people. You can't just like, it can't just be for profit, fuck everybody else when it comes to food. And that's why we should stop it, because like we trust in like these mega corporations that already got people poor to solve hunger. Like
it's not just for profit though. It's not just for profit. It's also an argument being made by the folks who have created this. When you talk about how the meat industry is in terms of how it's produced and how it's processed, it's not necessarily environmentally friendly, and
you talking about cows. Beef is the biggest one with the methane,
but hold up, but again, the way that the beef is processed and the way that the beef is cared for along the way, it typically does not do well for the environment, and there's an argument from the creators of this that's saying that part of why this makes sense is because there's environmental benefits. What I don't know is if vegans can eat it.
That's what
I don't know.
This might be a cheat code for vegans.
That's what I don't know.
No animals were harmed.
Because no animals were harmed, I don't think. So it's like,
ain't that what tofu is? Just like
no, tofu is soy based.
Oh, it's not like synthetic shit.
But
I mean, it's processed. It's a processed soy product.
Yeah.
Like, but G, I got a rebuttal to that one too, though, because like, I do understand that like cows are like the amount of cows, like it's something that's environmentally harmful. But like people I love a steak and a burger, but like beef is like the thing where like not everybody should probably eat beef because of even like health benefits too. Like there's other there's fish, there's enough fish in the world and chickens in the world where that are environmentally sustainable to feed the world. That like, and especially we take care of the oceans, we get like some of the farms where you can grow some of these animals that are like like I get it. If we gotta run out of cows because of like global warming, like, or it's really expensive for steak because of the environmental benefits, I get it. But there are certain animals and stuff that you could use to feed the world that would be sustainable. Like, but to say that, oh, we're gonna run out of cows, so let us just like start making fake beef to make more.
No, I don't think they're saying they're gonna run out of cows. Again, I think they're just saying it's a better environmental outcome long term than to keep doing what's been done. But look, I'm not like defending it. I just am sharing that it's not just because I think it's Bill Gates is one of the people behind this, but
he bought up all the farms. You don't remember all the farms he bought up like 2 years ago? He like was some of the biggest ranches out in like South Dakota, like the prime cattle. And now it's like
I also think like niggas who eat McDonald's, I don't think that they would have a problem with this because they already basically are like close to it as you can get.
You hear that, Steve?
Like, I just don't agree. I just don't think it should be allowed because, like, if it's I mean, maybe beef like environmental, but like, food should be food. Like, there should be some limits to like what you're able to sell people. Like, especially like cancer is already like prevalent. Imagine what kind of cancers this shit was gonna cause, and like, there's no testing.
How do you know it's gonna cause cancer, Johnny?
How do we know it's not? Like it's not been tested.
I don't know, so I just wouldn't mention it.
But they say the natural meat has caused cancer. Too much
but everything
red
causes.
meat.
But like
Red,
cigarettes cause
like
everything cause so like the thing about it is
so why would you bring this up then if everything causes cancer?
Because I'm saying I think there should be limits on like what you're allowed to consume as food. Like I think like when it comes to food, like
what about do you consider candy food?
Is the candy a food? I don't know. I'm not sure. I probably wouldn't. I don't think so. I don't think that would work as food. I probably not.
What is that?
Oh
what
my
is that
gosh! Then what is it? What is it?
It's a candy food. I guess it could be. I mean, how is
it not? Just how is it not?
What subcategory would it be?
Snack.
Or snacks food, Johnny?
Yes. Let me take that back. Let me take that back. Oh, I guess a candy would be food. I guess technically, yeah. It wasn't food in my house growing up. This
nigga gonna try to justify it one way or the other. This nigga said, "Not in my house growing up, nigga."
Right.
Like he asked my mama and grandmama, that shit wasn't food.
This nigga said candy. I don't know.
Yeah. Shout out Johnny though. All right. Do we have anything else? I guess. We don't have any of those guys on here. We don't have to make bushmeat jokes.
Would you rather have the lab meat or the bush meat? Real meat or bush meat?
Now we asking the question.
Yeah. Drop it in the
chat.
Do y'all want to have lab meat or do y'all want to have bush meat? Which one would y'all rather have, man?
I shouldn't have indulged.
Lab meat or bush meat? Drop it in the chat. Pause.
Hey.
Yeah. All right. So nonetheless, that is that we'll start segueing our way into the actual conversation. I'll push play. I think that this is the conversation that started, or the meme that started the conversation inside the Discord. If y'all want links to the Discord, let us know. We'll send it out to you. Just understand there are two versions of it. Oh no, we only got one Discord now. That's the better way to kind of market it. You don't have to be exposed.
Yeah, that other one is like, what did you call it? Grandfather. I don't even know. It's like when software get old and it just stop getting updates. It might stop working after a while.
Dark web and get on that one.
Yeah,
you gotta go to the dark web to go get on that. The link somewhere way back on one of them episodes. But yeah, it's no reason. We got one Discord. And if y'all want to hop on to it, it could be kind of civil. Sometimes, you'll see ghosts of old past hop on there and they'll talk their shit too. But with that said, I'm gonna push play on this, and I guess we can kind of talk about it.
Of socialism. If you take the rhetoric away and you actually look at the outcomes, there are 3 countries that I think have veered far towards socialism well before the United States: Canada, the UK, and Australia.
Okay.
And I think when you look at any sort of reasonable measure of their progress, it's been an unmitigated disaster. So all of the virtue signaling on social issues, all of the virtue signaling on immigration and open borders, all of the virtue signaling on climate change has left each of those 3 countries in some state of disrepair, with enormous amounts of infighting, tremendous political instability. They are all sort of powder kegs. Now, if you cut the legs off by saying young people should act 3 countries in some state of disrepair, with enormous amounts of infighting, tremendous political instability, they are all sort of powder kegs. Now, if you cut the legs off by saying young people should actually age into social media, I suspect that the most important channel of information consumption being taken away from them actually starts to give them the opportunity, and the rest of us, quite honestly, because we have to deal with kids who are just really stupid, constantly asking for this stuff, the chance to actually show you how a balanced diet actually allows you to be much healthier in your later life. And I think as relates to information consumption, I think you are going to see, I suspect, a far less radicalized youth aging into the voting rolls in those three countries. And I suspect if you start to see political stability and predictability in Canada, the UK, and Australia, you can put your finger right on this ban as the reason why. And Florida has already done it in the United States, and I think we need to deeply consider it across the rest of the United States.
All right. Well, okay. I guess there's multiple questions I have to ask.
It's an interesting.
So the three countries that he listed, they're putting a ban on social media for youth.
Correct.
Okay, and then Florida has put a ban on social media for youth.
Correct.
Let me look at. So what is Florida's ban on social media?
That's a great question. I want to say 16 and under.
Okay, I got it. It says Florida social media law, House Bill 3 prohibits children under 14 from creating or maintaining social media accounts, requiring parental consent for 14 and 15-year-olds. The legislation mandates that platforms terminate underage accounts and utilize third-party age verification systems, though enforcement has undergone the First Amendment legal battles. Okay, all right.
And it looks like California and Virginia have submitted.
I wonder how this is going to work with like the athlete page thing but parents usually are over those, so I guess that's the loophole.
So it's an interesting like it's multiple layers. So it's like we could start with just like, do you even think that a ban on social media is necessary or age gate is necessary? Because I think his other point about how it's having an impact on the political scene, I think is an interesting conversation. But before we get there, it's just even the idea of having a ban, period. Like, are y'all thinking that that's something that we should do, that makes sense, or are y'all against that idea?
I mean, I think it's a complicated like thing where like I kind of am, but I'm like not for the reasons that like he may have like laid out. Like I do think there need to be some protections for people. He mentioned like immigration and like I don't think like that's the reason to like ban like. But I think it's for the protection of the kids, and I understand that. But
that's not what he was saying though. I don't want to represent.
What you saying?
What he was
from Johnny?
What he was saying. He brought up immigration in the context of countries that have leaned into socialism and into progressive policies like open borders, like he said, these quote unquote virtue signaling things that they've leaned into as a country, separate from the social media ban. He's just saying that when people talk about socialism, when you look at the countries that have adopted socialism, he's saying these three countries have really leaned into it and things have not gone well according to him.
But my thing is like the thing about like blocking the youth.
Well, I'll let you go, Johnny, first.
Is like, wouldn't you block the youth for like? Is it like, are the rates of like teen pregnancies going up, sexual assault, danger to the youth? Wouldn't that be more of a reason to where like justify versus like you just don't like the politics of a place, and so you're gonna like kind of ban? Like I don't agree with it like for those reasons. Like, but like if there's like an epidemic of like, you know, children being hurt, like like
but there is that there's
he didn't mention that at all. He talked about like
no, but so I think what he did was like state like I don't think he said this is why it should be banned. He said that these countries have banned social media for youth, and he's saying that he's making a prediction that because they made this ban, as a result, these countries will see more predictable politics because their youth won't be radicalized and they'll grow up with a more balanced view on life versus growing up on social media, and they'll become like, say, better adjusted adults versus what he's comparing to today that grew up with social media. And what he's saying is, and if that happens where you start to see that predictability in these countries, he's saying you can point to that ban as one of the reasons as to why that's going to happen. That's what he's saying.
I don't necessarily agree with like, because radicalization is something that like has always been a thing. Like I don't think it's a new phenomenon. I think like social media has its own little weird way of like, you know, the perspectives that everybody and everything has on life. But like radicalization is something that's like, I mean,
So you don't think social media has had any impact on radicalization?
They thought the hippies were radical.
But no, we talking about like so you telling me like
if their politics were it was radical for like like back in the day when people wanted to have integrated bathroom, that was radical. Like I mean, like a lot of stuff is like radical. Like when you say radicalized, like I don't necessarily, you know, think it's because you know I don't see that being a problem with social media.
So you don't think people going out in public, shooting folks in the name of things going on the internet. You don't think social media has any impact on the rise of that sort of activity?
I mean, I think people shot people for all kind of reasons. And like, and like so, like I don't think that. I mean, I think people gonna find a way to. But like, but why not just ban guns then?
Well, that's a Second Amendment right. Social media isn't.
I think freedom of speech and I mean, I think you know, like I think there's an argument for social media being a part of like.
But see, that's freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is not mean you get access to a platform. You can go say what you want somewhere else, but as a social media platform, like you can age gate specific types of media content you can age gate gambling, you can age gate drinking. You can age gate smoking. You can age gate driving. You can age gate voting. You can age gate so many different things in society. So it's like you can age gate who can see a rated R movie versus a PG-13 movie. You can age gate so many different things. So why can you make it so that you got to be a certain age to buy a rated R ticket, but you can't have to be a certain age to get access to like all the content on social media?
I mean, I think it should like I think there is like validity in like certain age limits, but it's not like the kids ain't gonna be radicalization. Like, too stupid. But like, I do see validity in that, but like at the same time, it's not because like the kids are being radicalized. I feel like it is for kids' protection from like there's dangers out here in the world. There's like, you know, like. Political. I think you'll get radicalized no matter what. They've always been radical. They've always found a way to believe what they're going to believe.
They put parental advisory stickers on music. It's made it so that you couldn't buy certain music if you weren't of a certain age. So you telling me you can age gate buying a rap CD, but you can't age gate access to a social media platform?
I mean, I get in a sense there's validity, but it's not because of like. And I think I do agree with it, but it's not. But he's saying they're trying to do this for political reasons to like stop from radicalization. I do think there's precedence in protecting the kids. Like
that's
sure,
not that,
access to adults. Like yeah, there should be like age gaps where like adults should be able to contact a child. But like as far as like.
Let's not frame that as the reason. They're not doing this for like that's not what he said.
That's what he said. He said like political stabilization. And like
he made a prediction. Outcome. He made a prediction. He didn't say they did this because of this. Like, let's separate the two. He made a prediction of what's going to happen as a result of this decision. He didn't say they made this decision to make his.
What are they trying to stabilize? Happen. What are they trying to stabilize? People's radicalization.
No, Johnny. So look, they put what he was just simply saying was that these countries who happen to be socialists also put a age ban on social media platforms. He's not saying that they had to do that to make people less radical. He's saying that because they did this, he predicts that people will become less radical. And he says, if that happens in a few years where you start to see more predictable politics in these countries, it will be because of this age ban. That's what he's saying. So I don't want to argue if it should be done to stop, like, because that's not really I don't think nobody's saying that it should be done to stop radicalization. I think the question is how does social media have an impact on what we've seen, at least in my opinion, to be an increase in radical events as it relates to people going out, being vigilantes and doing other types of shit. Like the amount of political violence we've seen is crazy.
I mean, I don't think it's no different than like if you go back to the 60s, where like are we going back to the time like the 60s was probably the most political? There's like 3 major assassinations. Like we've had one, and like I don't think that's a signal of like we becoming way more radicalized than we've ever been. Like there's a time and period we've had presidents assassinated. That's super radical. Where I think like we're in a time and age where a lot of that radicalization.
Trump's had several assassination attempts. Several.
But like I'm saying, it's not nothing new. That's not like we haven't had, like that's not like an increase in radicalism. I'm saying the same radicalization has always existed in America.
How many assassination attempts did Obama have?
When was the last like legitimate like just
Ronald Reagan? Like Ronald Reagan was probably the last recent.
What about Biden?
It's like we've had school shootings too, but they become way more normalized. Like just because something's happened in the past don't mean it's normal.
I don't zero probably. I think maybe.
What about George Bush?
I mean, we're talking about recently, but there is
I just went back 20 years.
But I'm saying,
but like, what about Bill Clinton?
But if you go to Reagan in the 80s, he had like the political, like he had attempts.
What about Bill Clinton?
Like I don't remember any attempts.
What about George W. Bush's dad?
But I wasn't arguing in the last 20 or 30 years. I'm saying
40, like that's 40
historically we have
40 years.
What are you arguing? I said like in this country we've had a history of political radicalization to the level of
a statement that it is not like Trump getting multiple assassination attempts is a norm for America. It's not.
But I don't think it's like a different. Like I think in times like in the 60s. Back, we've had times where we've had this level of radicalization.
January 6th is normal too.
I don't think it's anything like
Johnny.
January 6th is normal too.
No, I mean,
is that radical? Is that considered radical? January 6th.
I mean, I'm not saying there's not a rise in radicalization, but I'm saying radicalization always exists. But I don't think any of this is because of social media. Like radicalization has always existed. I don't think this is right.
How do they organize?
But the same way people organized back in the day.
How did they recruit, Johnny?
Through social media, of course. But I don't think like there would always be this. I don't think social media is the reason of the
Johnny. What would FBA be without social media?
Never mind. But I don't. But I'm saying like radicalization has always existed. I think social media is a tool that they're using, of course, but I don't think the radicalization is happening because of the social media.
Radicalize people inside this at this speed in the past.
They used to have town. They had meetings. They did have forms of social communities back in the day too.
And it was able to reach this many people this quickly.
I mean, Martin Luther King had a bunch of people down there for his rally. I don't know how they didn't have social media back then, but they still found a way to get millions of people to Washington. The Million Man March got millions of black men to Washington without social media. So there were ways to make movements happen without social media. I'm not saying that there hasn't been a rise.
But I don't think
so. Niggas peacefully marching is radical.
I'm saying that's assembly. That's something they assemble.
Assembly's not radical.
That's the assembly.
No, that's not radical behavior. Assembly's not radical behavior, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're saying like a mass gathering, and then you're comparing it to radicalism. And we're saying,
but what I'm saying, if you can do a mass gathering, whether it's radical or not, without social media, I think the ability was always there. It's the motivation.
Right.
Like, you
but
know what
the
I'm saying?
idea of people becoming radicalized, like you're like saying that, like misses the whole point.
Ooh.
The whole point being, people are becoming radicalized quicker and easier via social media, to where then you can have a gathering, say, of January 6th, where there's a mass amount of radicalized people in comparison to, like, when you say MLK, I don't know people to think of that as a mass amount of radicalized people, as much as like
I think that's a
this is
perspective.
a
there were a
regular
lot of
protest
like
with regular people.
Steve. I think that but it's an assembly, and I
Like
think like.
activism isn't being radical. That's
But
like
I think
activism.
but the mechanism is the same. And I'm thinking of the mechanism. Before social media, there's still this mechanism to assemble people, whether it's for good or bad. You had this mechanism, and I wasn't
but
around.
the argument
social
isn't
media
about
is just the
assembly. Like I
mechanism.
don't want to make this about
just a
assembling
mechanism.
people. I don't know why we're making this about assembling people. Like
Right.
when we talk about like when we talk about like, let's just define radical behavior then, because like at the end of the day, like you just said, it exists, but you also said that it's increased. And so the point is that we've seen an increase of radical behavior. What are some of the variables that are impacting that outcome? And you're telling me that social media has had no impact on the increase of radical things that we've seen recently, like over the last few years?
I mean, I'm saying it's a vessel. Like I mean, this would be like blaming like, or again, like it's a vessel.
I said, does it have an impact?
What?
I didn't say it's the soul. I'm just saying, does it have an impact? Does it have a role?
Be sure it has an impact. Like sure, I'm sure it has some impact. Like sure, but I don't think it's the main driver.
All right, so let's walk this thing down, because like to me, you're standing on like a very interesting ledge that I don't necessarily understand. So you're saying that you don't think that it is the main driver currently right now. What do you think is the main driver of radicalism in America?
White supremacy. Like I think like you talking about like the Patriot Front and all that. That's more like a race. I don't think it's just because of social media.
So
like,
all right, you're saying all right. So
like, are you talking about specifically like January 6th and like that? Like I was saying, that's about racism. Like,
no. This could be black radicalism, white radicalism, Asian radicalism, and you're saying just blanket white supremacy. Do you think?
I thought we were talking about January 6th.
This would be a better way for me to get to it. Do you think that there has been an uptick of radicalism in America over the past 10 years?
Yes, I think we're going through trying times.
Okay.
Like, yeah, like I think.
So you say yes.
Yes.
And you think that over the past 10 years, it's been based on white supremacy, and that's what you're saying. It's just white supremacy that's doing it, correct?
Most of it, I'll probably subscribe.
All right, cool.
More so than like, I mean, probably.
We can stay with that premise.
Yeah, I would say.
All right, so
racism as a whole, maybe.
Of whites, I mean, there's been an uptick of radicalism in America due to white supremacy. How are they currently getting their message out?
Are you talking about like when it started back to the uptick?
How are they getting their message out? You said it's an uptick over the past 10 years.
A lot of the original, like Fox, the traditional news was a big one that helped MAGA get elected. Like a lot of those people weren't even on social media, and I think a lot of that has driven the discord in this country.
You think like traditional news that ratings are at a low are driving white supremacy radicalism?
And don't forget the true bread and butter of social media platforms. The algorithms are meant to cause a certain level of.
We'll get there, because YouTube is a social media platform. Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Snapchat. You can almost put WhatsApp. You can put what's the one where people just talk? I forget what that shit is called, but so what I'm trying to understand, through Johnny, because you said that there's an uptick of it. Social media has blown over the past 10 to 15 years. In the past 10 years, you believe that there's an uptick of it. Again, I'm trying to understand. So for me, if I look at how the alt-right got their messaging out, that was through social media. If I look at how, even if you go to like the Tea Party, social media. If you go through MAGA, social media. If you go through the Patriot, if you go through any incel that does mass shootings, if you go through like anybody current day, they gather in communities via social media, in my opinion. So I'm trying to understand what your opinion is of how there is an influx of radicalism via white supremacy and how that has nothing to do with social media.
I mean, I think like you're talking about the vehicle and not the driver. Like, of course, like they before, like back in the day, people were saying they said this about the printing press back in the day too. And I think like the printing press didn't like make people right. I think it just helped get the message out. The message is the message.
So
and I don't
that
think
would be so. Do you not think so? What radicalizes people?
It's a message.
Come on, go ahead and walk there.
It's a certain message, like, but it's like what like
the amplification of a false message.
Do you know that like when it comes to Western nations, children and adolescents account for 42% of all terrorist related or investigations?
That's interesting.
42%. Like you telling me that social media doesn't have an impact on children and adolescents buying into these extreme, violent political views where the algorithms push
before social media was around, they were saying it was the video games. And like I think like a lot of violence is like something that like.
But do the numbers compare?
They also put an age gate on video games. They also put ratings on them. And made sure if the video game was of a certain age, your parent had to buy it for you. So that's what they ended up doing for video games.
But and also, are the number of incidents comparable? So in the 90s, when they said it was the video games to now?
I'd have to look up the numbers. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure there's been an uptick, but like, I don't know for sure. But my only point is like, I'm not saying there's no influence of social media, but what I'm saying is like hate was always hate. Like this KKK back in the day didn't use social media. They still had a very effective message. And like white supremacy in the past never had social media, and it was a very effective message that got out there. So now that social media is around, I think that's just another tool that they will use, but I don't think it's the origin of
who
the radicalization.
I understand what is the argument that you're making, that you think somebody's making? Do you think that we're stating that the origins of radicalism started at social media?
I don't know. Like that,
you don't know, nigga?
He
said, I don't know.
Well, no, I don't think.
I don't know.
I don't know what y'all arguing.
This is what happens when you're just throwing out random straw men.
That's
not even something that anybody would ever say. You're landing at a place that nobody's stating.
Johnny Wild, boy.
Okay.
So what are we currently trying to say, Johnny?
You trying to say that it has like had an influence on like rising radicalization,
like pushing the message out and radicalizing more people?
And I said there's some validity to having an age gap. I said I think there's bigger issues
having an age gap.
Like having an age gate, the age gate. Well, so like I do think there's some validity.
So do you think that social media is a major driver in radicalizing people today?
It's just the modern tool. Yes. So yes, I agree with you. Let me give another interesting statistic. Let me give another interesting statistic. 80% of voters now believe that the opposing side cannot even agree on basic factual reality. That's 80% of voters. That's regardless of party. That's obviously a poll, but that just 80%. That's 4 out of 5 people would say that the people who are on the opposite side of them can't even agree on factual reality.
You know, completely evil, probably. And so, what do you think
Like,
that they
you
get
don't-
their factual reality from, Johnny? White supremacy? Through like the
I think a lot of people like when they get like
letters or
I mean
something?
sure like I sure like sure like they're
Town
using
halls?
social media right now, but sure y'all right, y'all got it right, like y'all got I understand what y'all saying, but I think there's a bigger issue outside of just like the social media.
And are you saying like
when
the
it comes to
bigger issue is
radicalization?
the fact that white supremacist ideology exists? Is that what you're saying?
I think that's what drives a lot of even the discourse when you
But-
see people, it's
but
white
no-
supremacist talking points on the internet. That's all of them
Right,
that are
but
driving
this
the social media.
How do you think? Let me see how I can best frame this. Do you think that white supremacist talking points will ever not exist?
I mean, probably not, but I think there's a chance they might not. But
All right, Steve said tag him in so he can help Johnny. Johnny, you need help,
Man, but Steve, don't come in here making new arguments. Like we talking
no,
about
this is the
this
easy
ain't
box up.
Johnny don't even need saving. He just not even responding to the actual.
I said there's validity in it, but I'm saying I think there's a bit like sure, but like there's been rises in radicalization before, and like so like, but I think what was the issue
Johnny,
then? I think there's a bigger
because of
thing.
what you're saying is that white supremacy, which I don't even think that white supremacy is the basis of radicalization. They radicalize a section in a group, but I think that there's like mad radicalization.
Okay.
If we look at LGBTQ,
okay, and maybe it's
like
and maybe it's not that. Maybe it's the wealth gap. Maybe it's capitalism and the growing wealth gap that's in America.
I don't think that's a plan of white supremacy. If we look at the liberal agenda, the socialist agenda, the communist agenda, I don't think that any of these are plans of white supremacy.
Okay, well maybe it's not. Maybe it's not white. Maybe it's not white supremacy. Maybe it's the capitalism and the wealth gap that's coming here. Like,
but here's how we bring it back to social media specifically. But if you bring it back to social media specifically, the corporate agenda with their algorithm is to trigger outrage, to drive engagement. They like the whole idea of these algorithms is they're gonna feed into your shit, to where it'll either confirm your biases. So whatever you like, they're gonna keep feeding it to you, so that's like the thing that you believe is true. And conversely, if you hate something, it's gonna feed you the things you hate, so that you can hate it more and more and more. And if you, even if it's like something that's like a threat, if you are on the internet, social media, looking at your threats, they're going to feed you more and more of this type of threat to help reinforce what it is, what you think. So that's not white supremacy per se. That's just tech bros and algorithms and the reality of what these social media platforms
but it is
are designed to do.
It is that they're pushing a narrative to have better profit margins on their social media.
Hence why the question is, should there be an age gate for kids? Because these things are literally designed to feed you bias content, to feed your like what I would call most polarizing parts of your personality. They are going to feed you content of the things you enjoy. They're going to feed you content of the things, whether it be that's going to drive the engagement, whether it be because you hate it, because you love it, or because also, whatever. But hold on, G.
But that's also a recent, like the TikTok phenomenon when it comes to algorithms. Social media wasn't always based in algorithmic like things. Like,
but it's been like that for a few years
ago. It was
now.
Chronological. I think when they switched the algorithm, it then like created a shift. But I think that is a.
But but Johnny, like it's 2026. What year do you think that took place? Where it went algorithmic?
10 to 15 years deep in. Well,
like this
is probably like 22.
This ain't Johnny. It was before that. It was Johnny. It was before COVID. It was before COVID. The algorithm existed before COVID. All these platforms had algorithms before COVID, bro.
It's about at least within the past 10 to 12 years.
Before COVID, for sure. I know for sure pre-COVID shit was algorithm. Bro, Johnny, think about it. When did Instagram change from a regular timeline feed to showing you shit that now you can't even see the people you following? How long ago was that? Think about that.
Maybe 5 to 7 years ago.
When Instagram changed,
nigga, that was it. It's about 12 years.
Think about it, Johnny. Instagram used to be you got on and you scrolled and you saw who the people you followed. You saw their content in a chronological feed.
Man said 2013.
Same thing on Facebook. You would get on Facebook, you would see a chronological feed.
I knew it was somewhere inside that range.
They switched that a long ass time ago, bro.
I was still a rapper back then.
It was a long time ago.
You could guarantee your shit used to hit niggas' feeds back in the day. And then it was like
they took it away. They made you.
But they stopped that in 2013 is when they.
It was a long. I know. I was making music for sure too. It was a while ago. A while ago, pre-COVID for sure.
It was. As I said, I was still making music. I remember. Yeah. And I stopped in 2016.
Okay. So algorithm, that's been the whole. And prior to this, like, there's documented evidence on how that algorithmic or whatever the fuck the word is programming has led to a spike in young people doing self-harm. Like, there's other data outside of quote unquote radicalism. There's been a huge spike in young women hurting themselves due to access to social media and what the algorithms feed in terms of body positivity and all this other type of shit like that. Like, it's not the evidence. There's evidence out there that very clearly documents that this is harmful for young people. So if you go to
I agree with the body dysmorphia way more than like the regular. Like, I do agree that like they're with like mental.
But you don't think that it radicalizes?
Like, it matters. Like with.
But you don't think it radicalizes people at that same rate?
I think it's different, bro. I do. Like, we ain't got to keep on going. We can move on. Like, I can think it's different, but like, I do think like goddamn, like, we can move on.
I think that it's way
we
worse.
Can move on. Like, we can move on.
That be the thing about Unpacked. You never know when a really bad take gonna come, because it be certain shit that you would think you just moving along the conversation. I thought everybody would be like, oh yeah, social media, by the basis of what the algorithm explains it to be, would be driving radicalism. And so then that would just be a preface for the actual conversation. But you don't think that it actually drives radicalism at a substantial rate, even though that's what it says that it does.
We talked about like we can move on to something.
I don't get it.
We can move on to something else. I think there's different things that like push that, because there's things that push radicalism before there was social media. I think like it's a part. It helps for sure. But I don't think it's like
spread at this rate to this amount of to this mass ever. Like that's what I'm trying to understand. Like, let's say in our lifetime, how was my bad?
Okay. But that's just the natural thing with life. Like, of course, everything happens faster now. You can go get your groceries quicker than you could back then.
Right. So then you would say
still
that,
eat the same.
I imagine that you would say that like DoorDash has led to less cooking.
Niggas wasn't cooking before. Like I wouldn't.
Okay.
Hey, I know for a fact. As like 20. Well, when was I living in DC? 2015. I know as of like 2015, the idea of ordering Postmates to get some like Chipotle was absurd. I was like, hell no, I'm not paying nobody to deliver me no Chipotle or this, that, or the third. That was just 2015. Today, nigga, I get anything delivered. And everything. Like, I don't even have to leave the crib. The free shipping, I'm on it. Like, bring it to the door. Like, everything get delivered. Sam's orders, Target orders.
Exactly. But at that same token, it helps people cook
like
more
going in the grocery store,
you can get your groceries delivered.
I gotta see my groceries.
Like, just to say it helps you like not cook. Like, some people cooking more because they can get stuff delivered.
So making fast food more convenient and a whole $1 billion industry built around it. didn't make people cook less.
What about making your groceries convenient too, though? Like that's the same mechanism. Like, so it could make you cook more.
So I'm just
It could make you cook more.
So you're on the ledge saying that you think that people cook more now.
No, I mean, I would.
Bro, it's just like you just making bad points for the sake of just talking. Like these aren't like even like logical ledges because like Uber Eats, Postmates, what's the other one? Like it's mad of these
DoorDash.
Like these are industries.
Hey, shout out to the Dashers.
That actually like finance mad people, and they exist for a reason. Because niggas are now too lazy to even go pick up food.
Let me tell you what this local restaurant did. I got some DoorDash, and these niggas tried to leave a note saying, if you want cheaper prices,
Or
go to the website. So I'm like, all right, let me go to the website and see what's up.
What?
But this ain't no ad or nothing. But the reality is if you order DoorDash at least twice a month, just pay for the Dash Pass, because you gonna save all your money off of the no delivery extra fees, and they cut the fee. You gonna say it makes the order way cheaper when you're a Dash Passer than when you're not a Dash Passer. And so just paying that $9 a month, if you order at least twice a month off that motherfucker, you gonna make you gonna be like, this shit is worth it, and you gonna keep ordering off that motherfucker. You order the groceries,
to not cook. I love it.
No, hold on. I got the Dash Pass. Hey, look, I found they got Harris Teeter food line on there. Shit, send me that 80-20 to the house.
I didn't know about that Dash Pass, boy. Hey, yes, sir. Got the groceries, Walgreens. What
I
you
need some garlic. I need some garlic powder.
Everything.
Yeah, and I'm a cookie.
Everything.
Man, if you are ordering, there's a minimum for. I'm probably one of the rare people. I don't use any of those services, but I imagine there's a minimum if you're going to the grocery store that you got to pay, right?
Nah.
So bro,
I've been sick at the crib. Like, wifey had to leave. I was just here solo. I was feeling fucked up. Had them niggas just drop me off some pills.
How much?
Yeah, you can order one thing. Like I've ordered shit.
I didn't even pay a delivery fee like that because I'm a Dash Pass member.
And I had them. How much was it?
I can't, like a regular medicine price. And I gave a tip.
Like, is that $10, 15?
Yeah, 10 or so bucks. And I gave maybe like a $1-2 tip.
$2 minimum. That makes sense to me. Like, can you get $2 delivered to you?
You could. Yeah. You could. But you're gonna leave a tip. That's the thing. So it's like if you're gonna get if you're gonna get $2 delivered to you, and you leave a $1 tip, you might leave a $1 tip if it's like $6-7. So you might as well throw something else in there if you need something else. Like, but if you really just wanted to order $2, you could do that. But I don't know how many things cost $2 today. Like,
ibuprofen. You can get 50 ibuprofen for sure.
$2.
Yo, 50 ibuprofen only costs $2.
I think you could actually get the 100 ibuprofen. Yeah.
From what store?
You go to like anything, like Walmart,
like a
CVS.
Target, Walmart.
But you can go Target, CVS. They shit. All right. So I know this primarily just because I have a son that grew like 5 inches in the past year and a half, and so with that is excessive knee pain and growing pains and shit like that. So I know the market price of ibuprofen for sure.
You could ship this nigga some ibuprofen right now to his door. One bottle,
$3.50.
Yeah,
just put some snaps on the Petro. That's all they ask.
I imagine I could probably do that. They also say that you got to tip more if you want people to actually pick up your order and shit like that. So you're probably gonna pay more than the price of the thing to get it delivered.
You pay for convenience. That no question.
Right.
You pay for convenience.
The grocery store runners don't take as much as the people that's waiting.
If you have this level of convenience, likely the person is just going to pay the $7 for the meal, instead of just getting the garlic. And that's more likely what's going to, or it's going to increase that to where the accessibility of convenience is going to lead to laziness in general. And that's what DoorDash, Uber Eats, Postmates, all of them have built an industry off of that.
COVID took them
Johnny
through the
was
roof.
arguing against.
COVID took them through the roof. It really wasn't until COVID where it became culturally acceptable to just do that on a normal basis. And then COVID got lifted and niggas just couldn't stop dashing. It's too convenient.
I agree. Steve, talk to us. What is your rebuttal for Johnny? Save him.
Steve ain't got shit to say because
hold on, man. You know, I had to get my son together first, man. Hold on, you know.
Okay.
I couldn't just hop on, you know.
So I didn't know that. So that's a recent development.
Recent development.
All right, word. Congratulations, brother.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. You know, but I'm on the side of what you call it, the age
Don't give
gate.
your son none of that fake meat, man.
My kid ain't getting no cell phone, none of that. Like, he getting a flip phone till like 16 or whatever.
16.
But I think
I'm gonna give you a heads up, Steve. Your kid gonna have a social media, and he's just gonna use his friend's phone to log into it.
I'm gonna have it on lockdown.
I'm okay with that, honestly.
That's just what's gonna happen.
And even if they do have a social media, I do think putting that having to log in on the computer versus a phone to do it, adding that friction, I think I could allow that. Like, if they had to like get on the computer at home or the laptop at home to get on their social media, just to have some friction in between, just like a phone, I could allow that a little bit. But they're gonna get a flip phone, man. But I do agree with the age gate. I just think obviously the parents should have say, or whatever the case may be.
Steve, we want to get to the meat and
oh yeah, bitch, but I'm just trying to make sure I ain't just jumping on her saying like I don't agree with nothing. I think Johnny is not saying that.
So Steve, let me ask you the direct question first.
Let him finish.
But I don't think Johnny is not saying that the internet don't call. I don't, because we will be lying to the whole point of the creation of the internet was to reach people in which you agree with, in which you normally couldn't reach. Right. So if you
lead to more radicalization, right?
So but the question is the radicalization is a chicken or egg question. Is it because of the internet or because of a material condition in the world?
No. You're already reframing. You already reframing the problem.
No, I'm not reframing it. But I'm not reframing it. You are. I'm not reframing it.
Nobody would ever argue.
I'm not reframing it. I'm saying I'm asking
the internet.
Hold on. I'm trying to ask Johnny. Is that where he going with it? Is he trying to? Let's deduce it down to social media. We could say social media is causing people to get in these bubbles of people who got same beliefs and thoughts and whatever, radicalized, whatever we want to call it. And I think Johnny is trying to say is that a byproduct of social media, or is that a byproduct of a material reality that people are experiencing in the real world? Because if it's a byproduct of a material reality in the world, well then banning social media really don't do nothing to fix the issue with radicalization.
I just don't think that to be true.
I think that's what Johnny's saying. That's the only. I'm not coming on here to argue against what y'all saying. I'm not on here to argue against what y'all saying. I'm just saying I think that's what Johnny is trying to convey. He's not saying that he don't think.
But here's the thing.
I agree that there's an influence. Like I'm saying,
that's what he said. He said he believes there's an influence.
And that's all niggas was saying. Nobody's
literally the entire.
But all niggas was saying.
But the issue is people like Chamath are selling, banning, and controlling social media as a panacea to the issues because the politics that's being developed. I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about Chamath. And I watch the All In podcast all the time.
I know that's not what he's doing. He's making a prediction about the future.
I watch Chamath all the time. These dudes have a very specific. The show has a very specific political agenda. They do not like
They
the type
tech
of
bros. They tech
they do
bros.
not like the type of politics that's being developed by the youth on the internet because it's producing people who are antagonistic towards their class, and now they're framing it up to make themselves out to be the savior when they're the tech bros who created the algorithms to make the money. So like,
Right.
like
But to me, like, so Steve, I think that sometimes like we can have a
the-
conversation because
these
I'm gonna eventually agree with that point. But I think that it is also okay to have like some basis of reality, which would
but
also
we
say that in general,
we've already come to a agreement on that. Yes, the internet can cause people, or social media can cause people to become more radical. But if we just stop in the conversation there, then it's
but
like,
that's not even like where we're because of I think hopefully everybody would agree with that. If it does make people more radical, the idea is does it had my bad. If it makes people radical, the idea is that we're pushing the idea of does it make people more radical quicker? So is it increasing the radicalism and then introducing it to a larger mass of people? And
I
that's
don't
the
think it
argument that we're
matters.
making.
If you don't change the material conditions, the people gonna be radical no matter what.
But I
So
also
you don't think it, you don't think it expedites the
where
process
like
in any
I
way?
want to engage with that as well. Where I think that the radicalism that we see on the internet is not all. I don't even think the majority of it is based off material condition. Like if I run down a majority of the groups and the people that exist within them, these aren't necessarily people that struggle for material conditions
So
as much as they have idle time.
so
And
let's
so, like, if I look at LGBTQ, if I look at again, like I said, like the Black identity issues, if we look at, and then we can just run down like the
but that's
socialism,
not but when they're talking about radicals, they really talking about a class antagonism that they don't like on the internet. Chamath and them.
well,
That's what they're talking about.
I didn't hear their whole conversation, but we're
And
speaking, like,
also, they
it's
didn't
not
like specifically. They didn't like that people was going on TikTok and was watching those videos from Israel. They didn't like that.
right, but Steve,
so
I understand
so
like, that would be further context, but that's not
Yeah,
the conversation
that's
we're
not
having.
how we're defining radical either.
Right, we're not.
but that's fine, and that's kind of the issue when we leave a term
listen,
like.
Steve, we can have like two different conversations, and
But
we
it's
can
not
move
two
to
different
there.
conversations. It's one conversation, and it's like
It can't be if like you're moving there first. So like we're trying to set ground rules so we can eventually get there. But if we're only defining and having a conversation there, which we haven't even introduced yet, like we're like that's not the framework in which we're working through. Like we're not working off of whatever the dude's name working definition. I don't watch their podcast, so I don't even have a framework to speak to.
All in podcast to math Palamatia.
Okay, yeah, and I'll check them out. I understand that there can be a issue, and that's why I said like I can get there to where you're at because of I do understand that the new tech bros are pushing a like neo-capitalistic ideology that's guys within like UBI and shit, right? But before we get there, it's also okay to set underlying principles that we do believe and we can accept as quote unquote like the material conditions of what the reality of the internet is. And that's what I'm saying.
And I agree. That's why I came on. The first thing I said, I believe in age gating. I believe the internet, but that's not really why they.
Tell me why you believe in age gating. Because what?
I mean, I believe parents should have an ability to control. Okay, so y'all have heard me say this on the show multiple times. I believe the market wants to sell us the most destructive things, and y'all OnlyFans, porn, gambling. I've said this multiple times. As parents, you need to protect your children from the market. The way in which your kids have an ability to interact with the market today is social media. So that is my framework that I've always said on the show. That's
right.
The market the market doesn't want anything good for you.
Guys.
But
the masses more, the youth more. Introducing and then pushing them down to either radicalization or sedation.
Or so destructive behaviors, bad body image, body dysmorphia, stuff like looks maxing is literally body dysmorphia for
Seeing
men.
everybody shining on the internet now, they gotta shine.
You know, so it's just like
motherfucker be looking brand new on the internet, boy. Read stuff like white people
act like
use Vaseline
nobody's
now.
ever failed. They just think everything's supposed to be a straight line of success, no failure.
I just think the market doesn't have a moral framework per se, but the market does what makes money, and what happens to make money is destructive.
Outrage.
Behavior.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
agree.
and correct
So
me
we
if I'm
agree.
wrong. If I have never, I've said that multiple. But again, if I say this on the internet, I would be called a radical.
If you say what?
This type of logic that we should have some like
That's
Chamath
not
and them.
radical. That's not radical, bro.
When you start
But that's what
applying-
and that's kind of the issue.
But if you apply rules, then now we can speak into like maybe it becomes like seen as radical with everything that you said before, the idea of what homie said, and just like what again,
there's a lot of people who believe this.
But that's kind of the issue, is because the people who control the narrative and who are free marketeers, because I'm basically making an argument against the free market. This is an argument against the free market.
You're saying age gating. That's not an argument against the free market, in my opinion.
But that is against the free market, because I'm not allowing corporations who rightfully so could have more. I'm putting a specific regulation, restriction, whatever you want to call on it. That is antithetical, or most people call it a regulation. That is antithetical to what a ultimate free. Y'all might not have an extreme version of what free market means, but they do. So I'm kind of dealing with the framework of the people who actually kind of pushing this stuff, what they actually believe and how they using it.
So if I listen to the All In podcast, they'll be fairly radical.
They're not fairly radical. They are.
They're not radical.
I wouldn't say they.
No, Steve's gonna paint them super negative because they're capitalists and billionaires.
I wouldn't say they. I wouldn't say that they. I mean, but they are a negative byproduct. I mean, all them guys up there.
And billionaires.
Hold on,
listen. In Silicon Valley.
We sitting up here talking about how bad social media is, and all of them dudes on that podcast either got rich from being early investors in Facebook. Chamath is literally rich because
Chamath specifically, but I don't think all of them did.
If you go,
but they were in Silicon Valley though. They're in the tech space.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's rich for those guys who've gotten wealthy off of the thing to then double back after the monster they created and be like, well, we don't understand why everybody's all of a sudden radical and don't like each other.
That's not what they're saying though. That's what I'm saying. Like if we just use the clip as what the clip was at face value, that's not what it was saying.
This my fault, G. This my fault, because obviously y'all played the clip, but I've watched more All In podcasts where they've talked about this type of stuff all the time, and it's just like they have a specific agenda of why they have an issue.
They have a point of view as it relates to like a lot of things. Like
but understanding understanding their point of why they making it is integral. Because I don't think y'all.
But Steve, I also want to say, like, we weren't really basing the conversation around the All In podcast as much as the concept of basically
just
banning
the premise,
social media.
Yeah,
just the simple premise.
Well, we already agree on that. That's not a very entertaining conversation because
Johnny don't agree on that. That's why it was becoming.
Johnny agreed to the age gate.
You said you was coming to save him.
I definitely agree.
No.
Y'all hear Steve?
I didn't say I was coming to save Johnny in the sense of that. I understood what Johnny was trying to say. He was saying Johnny's not discounting that people might become radical because of the internet. Johnny is just saying, I think people selling it as a panacea that if we age gate the internet, that's the solution, and not that there is this other material reality in which that's radicalizing people. to then seek
it's
out.
like,
Wait.
why
G,
is
before
that
you go there,
limited
hey,
to
Johnny, is that
one
what you were saying?
solution? Like we know it's going to take multiple. Like, why can't that be
Say
one
no.
of many solutions in the right
enough.
direction?
No, fuck you.
Close enough.
Hey, John, hey. Repeat in your own words what Steve said and how you was like what you meant.
He's like I said. He said there is some validity to the fact that there is influence that comes from social media, but there's a bigger cause to what's happening and what we see on social media.
And that's
And I think that's a reason. I think that's a reasonable, like pretty reasonable take. I think Johnny was just trying to go somewhere further in the conversation earlier than what y'all was trying to go. I don't think he was like.
What happened. That's what happened, Steve. That's what happened.
Yeah, that's all it was.
Yeah.
He was just trying to get to like
So-
what's the
so-
actual material reality that caused
so
people to radicalize.
When we say that, I don't see how the reasonable take. Maybe again, save him now. Here, we can introduce the saving part.
Old man
This is,
said, "What's a
this-
panacea?"
like, this
Old
part
man
is so
said, "What's a
called Save
panacea?"
Johnny.
So a panacea is when I sell something. It just is a layman's term understanding of what's a panacea.
Like placebo.
If I sell you one
You
thing
said
is a
placenta?
fix for
Placebo.
all, it's gonna fix everything.
Right. Again, Johnny might have took that as that way. Johnny, or like I said, we'll introduce the Save Johnny.
Johnny got to play center.
Pause. Saving Private Johnny.
I said,
Like this is the new
placebo.
segment that
Nah,
we're
but y'all know how
no,
Johnny gets to
yeah.
stuttering and stuff.
Well, wait a
and
minute,
it's
y'all
like-
just didn't want to understand me what I was saying. It was
No, I
very
understood
reasonable.
everything that you were
Y'all
saying. I
niggas
think
just
that
didn't want to
you and Steve
understand.
aren't even like saying close to the same things, and you trying to adopt one thing that Steve said, which is that y'all both agree that there should be some version of a gate. But what you were saying is that, all right. So my bad. Me and G were making a statement that, in general, social media has expedited ideologies that have already existed and made it more palatable to a larger mass of people. You said that in general, the issue of radicalization
I said there's
has
a
nothing
bigger
to do
issue when
with
it comes
social
down to
media.
radicalization.
You said that it has.
I didn't say
to do-
nothing. I did not say nothing. Now
Well,
you add.
originally you
I
said
said
it had
the
nothing to
bigger.
do.
I did.
You did walk it back, and then you said that it had something to do with it.
issue
But
other
the
than
bigger-
just social
all right,
media,
and
because
what you said is that
radicalization
the
has
bigger-
always existed. That's what I said.
My bad. Say it again.
I said it wasn't just, you can't just blame it on social media because radicalization has always existed. And sure,
Right.
there's a
But
rise in
do
it.
you
for
understand
social-
how bad?
But even
But
but social
like-
media existed, and there was a change they made that made it a rise in the radicalization. I can't just blame it on
Right,
social media.
but by saying that you don't engage in anything that we're saying,
I said there
so
was
making that
validity.
statement doesn't
Right.
engage in anything. So we never stated that radicalization didn't exist prior to social media. So you're going against what we're saying with something that does it's not a it just doesn't compute. We agreed that radicalization existed beforehand.
I mean, when you
Because
ask the
the
question
statement
in such
is
a niche
that-
that, like, if I didn't say, but like,
So what is
like, I mean,
what
if
is
there
the
any
metric?
influence
What
that
is the
social
metric
media
that we
had,
using?
yes,
What is the
there's
metric that we
influence.
using to measure radicalization? Because where I do really agree with G is the depression, all of those mental health.
Let's look at mass
That's
shootings.
statistically
Let's look at,
proven
Yeah,
with research.
all
Like,
the
that's
mental
not
health
even-
stuff on there. It's
That's
like
not even really that's an empirical opinion, if you will.
the suicidal ideation.
Yeah,
I
all
do.
of that. That's
We can look at that,
empirical.
but
Yeah,
That's empirical.
I think
we can look
social.
at like a rise of inside contemporary time, even
Like,
white supremacist
Yeah,
ideology. We could look at a
what
rise of inside modern time. The idea, what is it? Fernetta. What's the shit that says that black people's skulls are smaller and they can't their brains are smaller and shit like that.
Phrenology.
Phrenology. There we go. There's literally a rise in that. If you listen to most people that are far right, they actually adopt racist ideologies that almost had died out for some years.
and
And it's only through the introduction of the internet and resurfacing of phrenology and different things like that that it's becoming more prominent.
And so look, when I say radical, so for example, if you want something done, there are certain means you can take. There are institutions established, there are policies. You can submit to this, talk to this person. Like you can follow the process, and not be violent, if you will. And if you don't say follow the process and you start to like break laws, be disruptive, be violent to make a point, that's one form of being radical, in my opinion, where it's like you're not taking the means to get something done. You're doing it your way, away from what's already been established, and you're gonna do it by any means. Like that's a form of being radical.
But are we talking about violence? Like, wouldn't we say the '60s were way more violent period that we lived in?
Johnny,
Like,
context is important, brother. Context is important. We're gonna compare the '60s to where niggas was getting lynched and getting and not going to jail.
But if
Niggas are getting
radicalization is about
ran down
violence,
with
there was
fire
way more
hoses
violence
and
without social
dogs
media
and
in
all
this
types
country.
of shit like that. Like the standard of living in the '60s and what it meant to be radical in the '60s is way different than what it means to be radical today.
I mean, you say that, but the same people who say that they have an issue with the radicalism of the day is this very same people who I could pull up multiple YouTube pages, PragerU or whoever, of they saying that the people in the '60s had no right to be violent and radical. So like all of that stuff is a matter of perspective. It was somebody saying the exact same thing. G, like, why should Black Americans during the civil rights be mad? They're not slaves no more. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's very hard to
understand what it has to do with being radical. Like help me.
That was the radical of the time.
Because like
that was radical.
Because what's radical matter to who's interpreting it, and I think that's just a hard thing to try to say. We measuring.
But what can we talk about if everything is compared to slavery? What can we even say if everything's compared to slavery?
So like if I wanted a metric of like radicalism, like a good metric would be more political figures have been assassinated. This
is a fact.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think we should.
CEO got assassinated.
I don't think we should. I don't think if we saying somebody radical, it should be the metric should be the actual like violence like that's committed, not just
that's
like
But so what about political discourse that has led to actual legislation being pushed and or what did you say executive actions?
So
we can look at how discourse has pushed Trump's executive actions and the radicalization.
But that's not because of Trump and them is radical because they have a political ethos in which they believe in Trump and them use the internet,
but they are radical, right?
To me.
Right. So.
But I can't just on a hardcore barometer just say like they blanket radical for everybody because it's somebody who see that and say that's normal.
I think that you're blanket stating certain things that just aren't blanket statable. So right now, if we went and said that, we can.
Do you think deporting all illegal immigrants is? Do you think deporting all illegal immigrants is radical?
Right now, in his normalization of black slanted statistics that state that black people are more violent, and the fact that there is a influx of white youth that believe these statistics, that's not radicalization, and that's normal.
It is normal for the United States of America to believe that. What are we talking about? We passed the 92 crime bill before Charlie Kirk was even in his daddy nutsack. Off the premise that we believe black people was more violent than everybody else, and that the state needed to be more brutal to them.
The statement that was being outward.
But that's what you're saying. You're trying to say like we went somewhere that we haven't that we've never been before. What I'm saying, we've already been there. We've already been there.
Gotcha.
We literally live in the United States of America that incarcerates more people.
It's like comparing almost.
What are we talking about?
Because of
we incarcerate more people in the world, and most of those people is black.
I understand what you're saying. I think that there's worlds of differences between it. Where if we look at the 92 crime bill, we look at the enforcement of hyper amounts of actual black leaders, churches, XYZ pushing for the 92 crime bill, and the fact that it wasn't explicitly stating black people are X, Y, and Z.
But that
As
was the
much as, like,
subtext of it. But that was the
hold on,
subtext of it.
wait,
If you go watch, if you go watch any, if you go watch
what I'm
any,
saying is you didn't allow me to land. You didn't allow me to land a point. You didn't allow me to land a point. So again, in comparison to the idea that outrightly, because like there's a difference between soft racism and direct straight racism, where if somebody's saying no, black people specifically are more violent, have lower IQ, this would be a radicalized version of even the 92 crime bill. If that's what's being stated and being pushed upon and
but
being agreed upon inside masses.
I don't take issue. I'm not making distinctions between style. The end point is the same.
Okay.
The end point, like the difference, like we really up for saying because like they said it nicely in the 90s and they said more brutally in the today. The end point is still the same end point.
No, I think that a bunch more people ascribe to this, and it's not as much of a niche in general. And then it's more direct. The idea of things being more direct would speak to radicalization and normalization of radicalization.
I think maybe I just don't have this. I mean, I do disagree with the structure of the world, of the United States of America. I just think I don't have this freak out about it because I've always believed it's always been like this. And that's just a different point of view that I'm not going to, I'm already have a certain level of alertness to it. So it's not like, oh shit, this is something new. This is how I've always perceived it to be.
So you've always perceived that we're like that let me see how I can best frame this. Because maybe so you
at some point that when you can like engage with history, the material, whatever, and when people saying that this stuff is new and it's different, it's not.
Gotcha. This would be a better way for me to this would be a better way for me to frame it.
Let us get in there real quick.
Do you always believe that because of like your framework is right now, like you're just pushing radicalization inside the insight of white supremacy, in which if I ask like certain questions, it's an easy out for you to just be like, no, I've always perceived it that way. And so I just don't feel like framing it that way because it'll be circular as much as I could just move the goalpost to something else in which I could say socialism and communism is at a high right now in America. And that in itself is partly, if not even partly, I think it's majorly due to social media.
You don't think it's because of the material condition that you don't think?
I think Americans
you don't think that like people like this is an empirical metric. We love to talk about metrics, but this is an empirical metrics. Every generation since the boomers, economic mobility has went down. Your economic quality of life, and I think we have a misperception because we are a group of people here who are well off more than most people. But every generation of people, particularly men, because of deindustrialization, their economic prospects have went down. And I am not surprised when people turn to, whether it's white folks who turn to this nationalist politic or young people who turn into socialist, communist politics. That's kind of what we've always done, ebb and flow throughout history.
Yeah, I don't think that the material condition conversation is actually valid to what we're talking about right now.
So then,
in general, if we look at the quality of life in general, it is going down.
So you think people just want to
let us finish that back and forth real quick.
You think people just want to redistribute wealth because they saw some TikTok videos?
So
you don't think their actual life is worse off?
Statement that I was saying. So in general, I think that the material conditions of the average person in America are higher than it has been in the past. This would be empirically stated and seen in like through all data that you look at. Even if
what data?
In America,
the average person buys a house in 40 years.
The material conditions of America,
the average first time
land ownership. I think that there's a lower level of hunger, lower level of poverty. Like these are things that we can measure and see. And I don't think that would be the thing that is driving socialism and communism.
The average first-time home buyer in America is 39 and a half years old.
Right. But that's because there's a lot more options. Like a lot of people don't want to own homes. I think that looking at that is the only metric and not what people's quality of life is, what they're able to afford, what like these like their poverty level in comparison to the past.
We are poor relatively.
Like
adjusted for inflation.
Especially
we are
compared
poor.
to the billionaire class too.
We adjusted for inflation, we are poor.
Y'all arguing different things. Because if you look at just dollar for dollar what your dollar can get you today versus what it could get you in the past, we are poorer just on just purchasing power. Right. But if you then argue what Q is arguing, which is like access to amenities and certain qualities that improve your overall life experience, you know, like.
But this is
like hold on. Let me finish.
My fault, G.
Like for example, when I was growing up, at the early stages, we didn't have central air. And when we moved somewhere where we had central air, that was a big deal. Niggas had that central AC. And today, most niggas got central air. Even in the, like, if you're in a certain market. So what I'm saying is like, even though your purchasing power is down, your poverty experience, the floor has risen, so to speak, to where if you're at the bottom today, where you have access to internet, access to all these other things, where like back in the day, like these were amenities,
but those things didn't exist though. Like, because I think
when they first came on the scene, like when niggas had net zero.
But I think a more appropriate comparison would be.
Saying is this right here. He's saying that if back in the day, if a person didn't have a telephone, you know, a lot of people didn't have telephones. Even
it wasn't nothing to compare it to. That wasn't the standard.
Listen. The comparison of that is today. Who the hell don't you know that don't have the internet? Everyone has the internet today. Back in the 90s, the telephone was something that should have been a necessity. But there was plenty of households that did not have telephones. So the access to things is not always comparable in today's society and in the society of the past, because of the access of things that you can have. From you having the internet, you have access to so many more things, which makes you a lot more richer, not in value of monetary things, but richer as in intelligence and things of that nature. Everything isn't always monetary. Some things
quality of life like that.
Yes, exactly. But I just wanted to jump in here and just say from social media. Now, see, I was at the beginning of social media back in 97. I'm telling you, 97, we had chat rooms then. There were chat rooms.
Nigga would download JPEGs.
It was plenty of things going on back then. They had racial chat rooms then, but that's how I found out about Cash Money, was through the chat room on the internet. You understand what I'm saying? It's different things as far as in the things that goes on with social media. So what y'all have with social media now is completely different. But at the same thing, with chat rooms that we had, that you go to hip hop chat room. They had chat rooms that was for people that thought that, you know, probably racist things and all
people
all
that like
that.
Marilyn Manson and all kind of weird shit.
Exactly.
To be fair, that's like Reddit. That's like Reddit, right? Like modern day Reddit. Like that's kind of that old school style social media.
See what it was?
Black Planet
we
was
actually had chat
Black
rooms.
Planet
Yeah.
was what it was.
But kind of the thing is
chat rooms. When you had the chat rooms back then, it was like it was just like you had to, you know, .com or whatever, and it was like you go into it, and it would be people of like-minded. This was before like MySpace. This was damn near 10 years before MySpace. But what I'm saying to you, you go in there and everybody in there could type in what they thought or this, that, whatever, and you can listen to the music or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But it was different, but it wasn't as many people had it. But it was still people that was radicals and people this, that, whatever. They had pages for everything. So none of this is new. It's just what's new is algorithm and all of that. But you had to go directly to what you wanted back then. Right now, when you go into the algorithm will push you towards the thing that you like G was saying earlier, things that you like or whatever. Algorithm will put you towards that. You had to directly go into it yourself. So it's nothing new with it that's going on now. This thing has been going on for the last 30 years, as far as in the internet thing or whatever. This is nothing new. It's just algorithm pushes you towards things differently. All of this stuff, it's like y'all talking apples and oranges. It's really, it's there. It's always been there. And nobody's ever going to, you know what I'm saying, say that nothing is new under the sun, really. It just comes in a different package. That's it.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that people don't go on the internet and don't get radicalized. I'm just saying that that's a byproduct of something that happens before they get to the internet.
Thank you.
That's all I'm saying. And I think a lot of people is, and I'm not saying this Q, and I'm not saying this G.
I think that's completely false. I just think
I'm not saying this Q, and I'm not saying this G, but a lot of tech bros and people who are making this push against the internet or the people getting radicalized on the internet is because they simply don't like the beliefs that's being cultivated is antagonistic towards them.
All right, so Steve, let's stay exactly where you're at. You said that a person's belief is cultivated prior to the internet, and that's why.
Their material condition, right? So, like, for example, if I live in the,
what you mean by that? Let's engage. I understand that you can give me an example.
If I live in the deindustrialized,
let them give the example. I'm listening, Steve.
If I live in the Midwest somewhere, and I grew up, probably a dude who live in Dayton, Ohio, and I've seen the economic, bottom fall out of, whatever my community is, whatever the case may be. And people are genuinely seeking out answers to what the cause is. Some people say it's immigration. Some people say it's China. Some people say, people have all of these ideas about what caused the economic downfall of the Midwest prior to they get into the internet. That's all I'm saying. When they do get to the internet,
right, but
I'm saying,
just go back to where we're going. I understand, like the
but I don't think I'm disagreeing with you. I said I feel like people already material condition influence them to seek out
a direct question to where you were at inside the state.
But Q,
just answer the direct questions. I understand that you could explain how.
But I agree. But I didn't disagree with you. You said
to say. What I want to know is that give me an answer to the idea that in general material conditions are.
I don't think people seek out radical ideals if their life is going good on the internet.
I think that, and this is what I'm trying to lead to, I think that we see it all the time right now. I think that right now we see poor whites and rich whites all adopt the same exact ideology. And like,
what's the ideology of poor whites and rich whites?
Like,
is Luigi a poor white?
Luigi Mangione by all accounts, was a dude who had an insurmountable medical debt and had basically a back injury in which he was hopped up on drugs 24/7. And he took his issue with the medical industry and he turned that into what he turned it into by attacking see, that's his backstory.
His
backstory is
I don't know Luigi's backstory, but what I'm asking you in general, like if I look at who is spilling, let's just go like white supremacy. That's like y'all wheelhouse right now. White supremacy rhetoric. I think that material conditions aren't driving their issue with black people.
Oh no.
I think that we see rich whites, poor whites, all think that black people are super violent and lower IQ, and this is a narrative that is being pushed on the internet. Material conditions are not replicated through this. Like this is not replicated,
but typically,
this isn't a
okay.
line in general.
I think this is perfect. Okay. So typically, when white supremacy is talking about the degraded culture of black people is typically, whether we agree with it or not, is because they view black folks, because of our lack of ability, IQ, whatever the case may be, as using resources at a disproportionate rate that could be going to them. Could we say that that is a significant thought in white supremacy
I
ideology?
don't
Is
think that
because of
white rich youth have
yeah,
that experience.
they because of the deficiency in black people, and people believe stuff is scarce in this world. If we got rid of black folk, or whatever the case may be, whatever the ideology end up being, whatever they want to do with black people, that then we would have more stuff for us. Is that
Well,
that's kind of always been the
I
crux?
think that like you're going to an extreme that I don't even know if I agree
But
with like parts of your extreme. Because
But they don't just not like black people because they don't like black people.
My thing is that their subscription, like they're saying that in general, black people are this, and this, and it's not based off of their
and so because black people
conditions.
And because black people commit crime, that makes the city worse, right?
Okay.
Black people on welfare, so that makes our tax obligation higher, right?
White folks got more welfare.
Yeah,
but there's a reason why they blame black people.
From a raw perspective, yes.
Aren't living around these black people, like their lives and material conditions, especially for the youth in which we're speaking about that are being radicalized. They're not like this is.
They don't. But that's the thing, Q. They never lived around us to come up with these ideas. Like the whole concept
this
of
is where I'm speaking about your material conditions claim and how it doesn't align with this.
But they material conditions are getting worse. That's the thing. White people,
so rich
white people's material conditions are becoming worse. Specifically, working class white people material conditions.
But Steve, I think the disconnect. I think the disconnect is their material conditions are getting worse. But the thing that's driving their narrative and point of view is typically propaganda in media form.
But they believed this before the internet,
which takes advantage of the fact that they're so it's one thing to say that the material conditions are to blame versus saying that media leverages people's material conditions against them to drive certain narratives. Do you?
No disagreement. But my point is, but this is my whole point. I did not say that people then don't go on to the internet to get more radical. I said that ideology has already been cultivated within white people prior to even the existence of the internet.
But it's due to media though. Largely, would you agree?
From the inception of the country, they thought black people was a leech on society.
Gotcha.
They thought black people was a leech on society from day one.
What reinforces the narrative? Is it media? Is it what?
The culture of the country.
All right, so how about this?
The media doesn't have any impact on driving the culture.
The media is a byproduct of said culture. Gotcha. Don't get me wrong. I'm not disagreeing with y'all that to make it seem like these people don't have these beliefs prior to their engagement with the media and internet. I don't think that's true. I think that people already, this is already a very common ideal. Even people who don't perceive themselves to be white supremacists think that black people get too much welfare. They wouldn't typically say they white supremacists. I'm saying that is already in the culture. And yes, I've already agreed. Can the internet make it worse? Yes, but I'm saying I think people is underselling it when they thinking, well, they only radical because they go into the internet. Or they only getting these ideas because they go into the internet.
Who's making only statements though?
My apologies if you didn't make an only statement. My apologies.
No, I don't think that the conversation in itself exists on the extreme of only.
And when I say material conditions, like if people say crime is getting worse, they can't afford a house, taxation going up.
So, Steve, let's just walk back some things. Is crime statistically getting worse?
No.
Okay, so what are we talking about when we talk about?
That's just an example, Q. I name if it don't matter what example I name. I can name home ownership, race, debt
You'll pick the
obligation
worst
going
one.
through the roof. I can name child care costs go through the roof. I can name college costs go through the roof.
But again, like that's just paired with inflation and people.
But
owning
that's
way more than they
directly
always have.
impacted on how you materially experience the
way more than
world.
they always have.
That directly impacts how you materially experience the world.
Say it again.
That directly impacts how you materially experience the world. So if a dollar bought me,
And this is why I exaggerated it to wealthy whites which this material condition doesn't actually impact them. And also, what is the word? Like poor whites, the brother poor whites, if they're both susceptible inside mass to the same ideology and it's becoming to spread like more rapidly. And this is where
really don't
that I was going to ask you was going to be this, where I was going to ask. So do you think, and just follow me, we don't have to like long and elongate filibuster. Just ask.
Nah, go, man. Come on, man.
To where do you think if we compare like 1900, let's say 1910 to 2026, was there more racist whites than it is now?
Said from 19 what?
Like if we looked at 1910 in comparison to 2026, more racist whites then or now, percentage wise?
I mean, 1910.
1910. All right, cool. What about 1930?
I would say racial attitudes were probably worse. I do want to caveat this from a racial attitude perspective. It don't get no worse than white people who signed off on slavery and Jim Crow. Like there has to be a large buy-in from the culture.
We already went past that decade, nigga. We on the 90s.
You know what I'm saying? Like
we on the 1900s. Like what you talking about?
I mean, 1900s is Jim Crow.
We already know that. We talking about the 20s, the 30s.
They don't think that shit matter now. That shit don't matter no more.
He said 1900. I said more. 19.
Just answer really quickly. So 1930s, you would say yes, right?
Yeah, it was
because we acknowledging that everything before 1930 ain't even worth arguing or talking about. Like we know it's fucked up. It's not even like it's unprecedentedly fucked up.
Racial attitudes was worse.
1930s had a lot more white.
I just want to get I want to get a temperature. I'm trying to understand something. So 1950s,
racial attitudes is obviously worse.
All right, 1970s.
I don't think no period.
Just walk with me. I
think today from a racial.
Walk with me.
But I think from today from a racial. I think from a racial attitude perspective.
You don't walk. You just run, man.
But no, but
walk with me.
I think the racial attitudes of today is probably the best time for racial attitudes.
Run, man.
I don't think.
Back to the 19.
I don't think no period prior to 2026 from a racial perspective is better than 2026.
I think, so I was gonna walk you till we got to the 2010. In my opinion, I think that prior to, I think there's like a sweet spot between 2000. I don't know,
Kanye went on TV during the 2000s and said George Bush don't like
better than it is right now.
I mean, just think about this. In the 90s, you could explicitly run on. They was like people like to talk about Trump now, but Bill Clinton ran on a campaign of putting up dangerous black people in ads and saying that he was gonna be tough on crime.
3 strikes.
George W. Bush did the same thing. So like I think people just because we had Obama.
That was an argument that I was making.
Yeah, but I just think to.
I would also want you. So did he also put up dangerous whites? Or just
no,
blacks?
I mean they literally got a moment for Bill Clinton called his sister soldier, which is called his sister soldier moment, where he take his chance on TV to put black people in their place.
No, but I just want to make sure. So you're saying he put out ads that were only black people, dangerous blacks?
I mean, you could go look up some. I mean, who else? What's another popular ad that people did during that time? Unc could probably help me. Do you remember like
an isolated situation?
back in the 90s, it wasn't to where he put up towards just blacks. But if you looked at the undertone on what he was speaking about, you knew who he was speaking of. So, but
that was a part of the politics.
If you're gonna go historically far as, and when it was the worst far as, and when people were more racist than whatever, it was the late 20s to the 30s. Because then when you had depression, you had more poor people that weren't used to being poor. And what it was that black people couldn't put their money into banks. And that's where the jealousy came out, where black people was buying shit. Black people didn't know a depression was going on because they didn't lose money out the bank. So with that happening, it became a jealousy of them watching these black people eat, watching these black people being able to buy vehicles, watching these black people be able to do all this. So the racism shot through the roof then between then and then within the 50s and 60s. Those were the people that were the parents to the idiots.
The racism shot through the roof in the 30s.
That shit been through the roof. That shit been through the roof.
Nigga, the racism was through the roof when the shit started. What are we talking
through the roof
about?
day one.
No, but what I'm saying, Farge, and what I'm speaking of, that it was already there as an undertone, but it came out even more because of the jealousy pushed it out, and then you had things like that was there for us, and like the radio and things of that thing of that technology that could push the agenda out more towards people and things like that had it to where they were able to radicalize that thing or whatever far as and what it was going on there. So what it was that the jealousy said it a lot even more towards black people within, and from there that's what grandfathered it back in, because some of them people wasn't around black people, whatever, but when they saw black people had more than they had, it fucked them up, and that's when the whole agenda pushed where black people had to get pushed down, and they started this, that, whatever, and they started far and with the project system for the poor whites and all this shit that come out to what we have today. All of this shit was for them being poor, and they made us poor. They made us, as we was trying to reach our goals, and we were doing better and better. They muffled us down, and they put a muffler on us, and that's what happened with all of that. But as far as like that, the social media back then was the radio. And the little you know what I'm saying? Everybody, but that's what it was. That's what was going on. That was social media.
I think the only difference we making, I don't think we really disagreeing on anything. I'm just having really a chicken or egg argument more than anything. I'm not really disagreeing.
Oh, fuck you, old man. Hey, that's true though, old man. I'm trying to get there.
Look,
I'm waiting.
But that is the kind of the argument.
I can't see old man question. What was old man question? What old man said?
Old man talking shit because he don't know the difference between Aboriginal and original. Old ass nigga, man. Old ass nigga, man. I don't know what the fuck he talking about right there, man.
Hey, Q.
What's up?
Hey, man, I think it's time.
Oh, okay. All right. Johnny said it's time to shut things down, so we gotta shut things down. He
G said that. G said that. No, G said that first. No, don't make me sound like
Johnny, damn, nigga, don't tell, Johnny, don't tell this nigga nothing ever. He like, we called, nigga. Hey, look, I ain't do nothing.
Johnny it was us
right there. It was, hey, come back, bro. It was us.
Hey, he's trying to make it seem like I'm the party pooper. Nah, I'm trying to accommodate.
I'm just saying. Damn.
I saw the comment.
If y'all want to hop into the after show, I'm gonna leave a link right here.
It's been 3 hours already.
No, we started late.
And we at hour 2, which will be like 3.5 right now.
Y'all need to work on y'all timeliness, man.
Yeah, I agree.
It's probably Johnny, bro. If I had to guess anybody's fault, it's Johnny's fault.
Nah, this one was actually mine.
It's always my fault. Look, it's always my fault.
Johnny, bro, you just
Johnny, why they do you like that, man?
I'll jump on the sword. I'll jump on the
Hey, man, what was that y'all on the? That was the Sunday show. That was the Sunday show, man. Johnny, your ass should have been off camera that day, bro. I don't know what the hell you was talking about.
You should turn your camera on, Steve. Let us see the noggin.
I ain't got no haircut in about 3 weeks.
Whoa. I don't want to see the noggin.
Yeah, pause, bro.
Let us see the headline.
I don't want to see at all. Like, whoa, that is crazy.
All right, nonetheless, it's been a fun episode.
That's a wild boy, yo.
Unpacked show. Again, I am Q. That's Johnny, G, Steve. Shout out to the chat. We had Fat Boy in there. We had Old Man in there. We had all of the guys. Had some newcomers pull up on us. But with that said, we out. Peace.